Welcome to the What Does Science Say GL. Okay, let's talk about something that problems so many of us have to deal with: dark circles. I mean, this quote really hits home, doesn't it? You know the feeling. You got a great night's sleep, you feel totally fine, but you look in the mirror and bam, the dark circles are staring back at you. Well, it turns out what's really going on under our eyes is actually way, way more complex than just being tired. So here's what we're going to do today. Think of this as our roadmap. We're going to bust that just get more sleep myth once and for all. Then we'll figure out your exact type of dark circle. After that, we'll get into the good stuff, the targeted toolkit of what actually works. We'll even cover the art of concealing them. And finally, wrap it all up with the lifestyle habits that make a huge difference for everyone. All right, first things first. We have got to get one thing straight. Yeah, a bad night's sleep doesn't help, obviously. But for most of us, it is definitely not the whole story. Telling someone with stubborn dark circles to just get more sleep is, well, it's kind of useless, right? It's like telling someone in the blizzard to just, wear a hat. Sure, it's not bad advice, but it completely misses the real problem. And that brings us to the biggest myth of all, that all dark circles are created equal. They are absolutely not. They have totally different root causes. And you know what? That's why that miracle eye cream your friend swears by might do absolutely nothing for you. So if you want to find something that actually works, you have to put on your detective hat first and figure out what you're really dealing with. So how do we do that? How do we play detective? Well, the good news is dermatologists have already done most of the work for us. They've broken it down, and trust me, it's a lot simpler than you might think. Okay, so basically, there are three main players in the dark circle game. First up, we've got pigmented circles. These are actually brown in tone, and they happen because there's extra melanin, pigment in the skin itself. Then you've got vascular circles. These are the ones that look blue, pink, or even purplish. And that's because the skin under your eyes is so thin that you're literally seeing the blood vessels and muscle right through it. And finally, there are structural circles. These guys are sneaky. They're not about skin color at all. They're just shadows, cast by things like hollows under your eyes, what some people call tear troughs, or puffiness in under eye bags. So, which one are you? Here's the cool part. You can figure it out right now, like right this second. It's a simple little trick dermatologists use called the eyelid stretch test. Seriously, go grab a mirror. I'll wait. Okay, got it? Now, just gently stretch the skin under your eye and look closely. What's happening to the color? If it pretty much stays put, ding, 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 you've got pigmentation. If it lightens up or even disappears, it's structural. You were just seeing a shadow. But if it gets darker or maybe changes to a more purplish color, that's vascular. Okay, so you've done your diagnosis. How cool is that? Now that you know your type, we can finally get to the good stuff, the toolkit. This is where we turn that diagnosis into real, actual solutions. Because knowing your type, that's the key that unlocks everything. Right, the million-dollar question. What actually works for my type of dark circle? Enough with the guessing games. Let's get into the specifics. And this is exactly where all that detective work pays off. So if you have those pigmented brownish circles, your mission is to brighten. You're looking for ingredients like vitamin C, niacinamide, and retinoids. Now, if you're in the vascular camp with the bluish purple tones, your goal is different. You need to thicken that super thin skin, so think retinoids and peptides. Caffeine is also great for a temporary fix because it constricts those blood vessels. And for my structural folks, well, topical creams can help a bit by plumping the skin with things like hyaluronic acid, but the biggest changes here come from professional procedures like fillers to fill in the hollows. Look, all that skincare stuff is awesome for the long game, but sometimes you just need to look less tired for that meeting in 10 minutes, right? That's where the magic of makeup comes in. But there's a catch. You gotta do it right. And here it is, the number one mistake pretty much everyone makes. We see a dark circle, and our brain immediately goes, okay, I need something super light to cover it. Sound familiar? Well, it's totally wrong. When you slap a light concealer directly onto a dark purplish circle, you're not covering it. You're mixing colors. And what do you get? That awful ashy gray cast that somehow looks even worse. So, what's the pro move? It's a 4-step process, super simple. Step 1, hydrate. Always put on an eye cream first, it makes a huge difference and stops the concealer from creasing. Step 2, and listen up, this is the game changer. Color correct. You have to neutralize the darkness first. That means using a peach or orange toned corrector to cancel out the blue or purple. Then, step 3, you bring in the concealer. And here's the key. Use one that matches your skin tone, not one that's lighter. And finally, step 4, set it. Just let it sit for a moment, then lightly dust on a fine powder to make sure it stays put all day. And you know what else matters? Placement. A lot. Please, please forget everything you've seen about drawing a giant upside-down triangle of concealer under your eye. That's old news. The modern way is so much better and uses way less product. You just need a little dot right in the inner corner, where it's darkest, and blend it down a bit. Then another small dot at the outer corner of your eye, and blend this one up towards your temple. It gives you this incredible instant lift. It's amazing. Okay, so we've got our targeted treatments, we've got our makeup hacks, but none of that replaces the basics. So let's talk about the lifestyle foundation. These are the habits that will help literally everyone, no matter what kind of dark circles you're dealing with. And to understand why these habits are so key, you just have to remember one thing. The skin under your eyes is unbelievably delicate. We're talking 0.5 millimeter thick. Think about that. That is the thinnest skin on your entire body. So of course, it's going to be the first place to show damage or, well, what's happening underneath. Which is why these next 5 habits, they're just non-negotiable. First, sunscreen. Every single day. It is your #1 preventative tool, period. Second, if you have allergies, manage them. All that rubbing and itching just makes the skin thicker and darker over time. Third, yes, prioritize sleep. It really does help with circulation and repair. Fourth, drink your water and maybe ease up on the salty snacks. It makes a huge difference with puffiness. And finally, think about what you're eating. Foods with iron and antioxidants really do support your skin from the inside out. So really, when you boil it all down, the key takeaway is super simple, but also super powerful. It's time to stop guessing. Stop throwing random eye creams at the problem and hoping one sticks. Now you know how to diagnose your type, so you can find your fix. And that's the real power here. Once you understand the why behind your dark circles, whether it's pigment, blood vessels, or just a shadow, you can finally stop wasting time and money and start making smart choices that will actually, finally, make a difference. So I have to ask, now that you know the science, what's the first change you're going to make? Thank you for being with us until the end of this video. Please be sure to subscribe to the What Does Science Say channel and give us energy with your likes and comments. Share your comments with us and send the video to your loved ones so that others can also use it.